Good to have you with us on this Monday edition of Ed Schultz News and Commentary. I took the dive over the weekend. I bought the tickets. I was in the front row behind the Packer bench last night in FedEx Stadium here in Washington, D.C., and I have to tell you, save all your money, folks, if you ever have a chance to do something like that. You can buy the tickets online. You can go to any NFL game. They're going to be spendy as hell. But since my wife and I had moved to Washington, I thought, well, you know, we've got to have a welcoming gift to ourselves. So I said, honey, what do you think about going to the Redskin Packer game? She was all about it. So we went, and it was fun. It was just a blast. You know what? Aaron Rodgers, you hear a lot about him as quarterback of the Packers, the stellar career that he's in the middle of. He's 32 years old. He certainly has at least 3 or 4 more years left, maybe more. The fact is that the quarterback is so important in the NFL. If the Vikings had Aaron Rodgers at quarterback yesterday, they wouldn't have had to worry about whether they're going to make a field goal or not. If the Redskins had Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, they would have won yesterday. Redskins are a good football team. They just don't have a guy that executes at the level and the consistency that Aaron Rodgers does. I mean, the quarterback is so horribly important in the scheme of things with every NFL team. And it was really interesting to watch the Packers operate yesterday. They got down 11-0, came back, took the lead at halftime at 17-11, then really outscored them and finished it out at 35-18. And it was a hell of a game. It was a lot of fun. Now, of course, the Pack goes to Arizona. I don't think that's going to be easy for Arizona. You know, you can look at it however you want, but to win an NFL playoff game on the road is not an easy thing to do. So we put some pictures out on our Facebook yesterday, sitting in the front row. We came across Senator Heidi Heitkamp of North Dakota and Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin. They were walking in front of us down by the team, and they were coming up to their seats and whatnot, so we had a nice BS session with them. And so we put these pictures on Facebook, and everybody said, Ed, I just can't believe you're a Packer fan. Well, I am. I like the Vikings, too. The Vikings are okay, you know. But I like the way the Pack plays. I think they play hard. I think they'd be in a lot different position if Jordy Nelson hadn't gotten hurt. But I like the way they play the game. And so that's my team. Doesn't have anything to do with our connection to Madison, Wisconsin and the protests of 2010 or whenever they were. No, there's a lot of great people in the state, but I just like the way they play the game. All right, now, football and politics do mix, by the way. So we're sitting in the front row, and of course where we were is where a lot of Packer fans were. We start talking. And, you know, who are you? What do you do? Blah, blah, blah. Where are you from? Menominee, Wisconsin. Yeah. Okay, all good. What are you doing here in Minnesota? Well, you know how the conversation goes. I said, what about Bernie? What about Hillary? What are you thinking in Wisconsin? Feingold going to win? What's going on? And, oh, man, were they juiced. They wanted to talk it over. And it's very clear that there is a sense across the country, despite all the fundraising, despite all the boots on the ground and the teams that Bernie has got in Iowa, there are a number of progressives, I believe, across the country who just aren't sure whether Bernie can run the table. They like him. They like his issues. They like what he's doing. They don't dislike Hillary. And they're seeing how this thing plays out. And these folks were non-committal as to who they were going to support. But they all to a T said, well, Bernie, I don't know. Can he win? So this, I think, is the hurdle. And Bernie Sanders, ironically, on the tube yesterday, is addressing this.
Well, for a start, I would urge those voters all over this country, take a look at recent polls in which Bernie Sanders is matched with Republican candidates, Trump on down. Hillary Clinton is matched with Republican candidates. And so if people are concerned about electability, and Democrats should be very concerned, because we certainly do not want to see some right-wing extremist in the White House, I think Bernie Sanders is the candidate.
And Bernie's hitting us on the campaign trail over the weekend in Toledo, Iowa.
My opponent, Secretary Clinton, has basically raised an issue in recent days. And what she has said is, well, you know, you may like Bernie Sanders or not, but he's not electable. You got to vote for Hillary Clinton if you want to prevent a Republican from getting the White House. So let me respond to that in this way. The last national poll that I saw was done by a group called Quinnipiac, which is a fairly reliable pollster, had us defeating Donald Trump by 13 points, almost double of what Hillary Clinton was defeating him by. That's number one. Now, different polls have different results. But generally speaking, against the leading Republicans, more often than not, we do better than Hillary Clinton does. So if you want to make sure we don't have some right-wing extremist in the White House, I think I'm looking at the candidate, you're looking at the candidate who can do that.
So does it matter? Does it matter who gets the nomination? Well, in my heart, it does. But the point being here is that the progressive agenda in this country is in solid concrete with the American people, especially the young folks of this country who are concerned about college debt, who are concerned about fair taxation, who are concerned about health care and education and job creation. It is about jobs.